You have invented such a fairy tale, such a legend that the speed and volume of your foes will protect you. Realize this stupidity. That is, you are always taking in your head. Because it seems to you that while you are thinking, a brick cannot fall on your head. Think about it. It is unbelievable stupidity. Unbelievable in general. Well, if a nuclear bomb is coming at you, what difference does your constant worries make? What do you think you're saying? It's going to fall on you. Well, what difference does the speed, the volume of your foes in no way convert into a defense against real-world threats? You have to be honest. You don't have the courage to walk stoically through life, because when you are silent, you experience the bad things that happen to you to the max, and you are talking in your head all the time to avoid it. That's why you can't suffer it, and that's why you can't arrive at a good end. You haven't suffered the good because you've muddied the perception of the bad with bullshit in your head. This is all endless. When you have to be silent and grieve and become stronger. Some people's youth was mediocre. Some people lost loved ones. Some people lost their limbs. Some people were left with nothing after 20 years of marriage, as it seems to them a happy marriage. Do not hide it with words. It is given by God to make you stronger, but like anything in your life, it is perceived in a distorted way. Because until you drink this full cup, stay in the state and ask God to open your eyes, you will continue to drink all the difficulties of life with cheap alcohol and consuming cheap dopamine. And torture yourself with that endless, meaningless thoughts of yours. Until you do that, you can't start anything else. Let's say a man was in the war, fucked up from the war and lost his friends there, got wounded. His wife left or fucked someone while he was at the front. That's what he does. He starts drinking, looks at old pictures where he's happy, smiles at the picture where his ex-wife and they're kissing together, planning a life together, and endlessly does it every day like a madman. Just drinks, looks at old videos, drinks, looks at old videos again and over again, until he becomes a bum. It may seem from the outside that he's suffering a lot, but in fact, he's under anesthesia. That is the maximum intensity of feeling. When you don't think, don't speak, don't do anything and your eyes are closed. This is the maximum state of feeling, and accordingly we have not been taught this. So I explain to you, there are moments in life when you have nothing to say. You just sit on the curb, put your hands on your head and look with them blinking eyes. You realize and you want to run away. You have some foes like I'm going to do it. I'm going to do some bad things to myself. I'm going to do some shit. But instead, you have to sit silent in the ice bath for 15 minutes every day until the realization comes. Then it will be clear, and when you suffer it, that's it. When you really feel how bad it is, only then you will go in a direction of power. That's why my friend has been tormented with women for years, decades from a very early innocent age, because he didn't fully fucking realize what led to it. So how he simply ignores valuable women and communicates with the opposite sex only by paying them. I realized that he urgently needs my professional help. I called him to visit and listen to his story until I found what his problem was. Taking permission to tell it anonymously in a video I shared with you. A friend of mine, let's call him Al, had a girl he was head over heels in love with when he was 16. She was the first one in his life, was one he slept with for the first time, and somehow he experienced everything very vividly and painfully. He remembered a moment how his best friend tried to rescue him, but Elle was all in emotions. He couldn't see the world without her, but it was like that until the day his sister called him and said, "Look, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think this is important information for you to know. Anyway, we were at a party with my boyfriend and your girlfriend came over and she's came with some guy and go into room and fucked." And Elle says that for a minute the whole world stopped. Out of anger, he broke his phone which he had been saving up for a year on the floor, and out of rage he wanted to go there and do something very bad. It was so painful for a boy brought up in some village traditions that there was a change of consciousness, and before our conversation he felt hatred for all the females out there. Here's the help for similar situations, guys. Sit down and try to feel everything you experienced and release all those emotions, concentrating only on your breathing, no matter how hard it seems. Stop locking your thoughts and just breathe and feel what is happening with you without doing anything towards it. Staying in the moment in a collision with reality. You hate yourself, you hate her, you're angry, you're feeling miserable. Great, feel it, just do not act. Breathe and feel it, no distractions. That's how much you have suffered. That is, look at the life of the world. In general, the world itself is a very capricious little girl. And when she is capricious and you turn away from her, you don't love her. She starts to become more capricious. You know what I mean? That is, when the world manifests itself in something that hurts you, if you turn away from it, you will get nothing else but that, and it will become more and more assertive of its part that you try to ignore. The world is a creation of your perception. And your girlfriend was fucked by someone else, and you were in pain in your life, and you get fucked by some scumbags in school. You justify it by saying it's a prank that got out of hand, they're kidding. No. Elle's girlfriend of 16 years was really fucked by someone he knew. And no, these scumbags really feed off your energy when they make fun of you. Instead of sitting down and planning some emotion-based revenge, do this instead, brother. Feel the pain, understand the pain. Do not act stupidly, do not overthink it. What you used to do when some shit happens to your life is to turn on cheerful music, immerse yourself in games, start stalking after her in social networks, in real life. Wherever you go, all your foes are only about the bad and only. The solution, though, is simple. Just accept the reality, feel the pain, and take it like a man. Throw that whore out of your life, show your boundaries to your abusers, and enroll in a sports program that will make them afraid to even walk near you, provided you spend enough time there to become truly strong. You see what I mean? Accept that you're weak. Realize that you can't go on life like this, and find a way out of this fear via your logic and clear mind, instead of acting like a girl. To become really strong in life, instead of giving up and hanging your arms with a sad face. Become like gods who fought against wickedness even under seemingly unbearable conditions to win. His friend, the one he loved, betrayed him. And then when his hand was cut off and his girlfriend was raped, he still didn't hang up his nose and kept fighting, and eventually help came to him. Same thing in real life. You realize the pain, and only after that, when the universe sees your efforts, it will send you the power you need. If you whine, you will get nothing but weakness. You have a tragic situation or illness. Great, but it turns you into a story for you. Instead of fighting it, instead of smile to it, you use it as a poison all the time, and you think it's some higher level of living it. Although it is just endless carrying it around with you, and that mental hell that we carry with us is the undigested slop. Vomit it out, burn out, you unburn these emotional fucking freaks generated in the past from which nothing is really left. Everything has long since been burned out, but we carry around like urns of ashes. With these ashes, what was then experienced, and this urn with these ashes, what was then experienced, it occupies the place in which actually should be alive, blooming right here and now. That is, instead of garden blooming with apple trees, cherry trees, apricot trees, lemon trees, you have just made the whole yard of yours with urns with ashes of your destructive emotions. Just ashes of emotions from your own feelings, which you do not throw away because you are so dependent on it. And so feeling sorry for yourself and distracting yourself, you will go round and round, not as man, but as pathetic boy. Subscribe to this channel. I'm preparing a huge guide to masculinity, which will detail all the life situations that you as man will have to face and have to deal with them. You was M. Let's forge your better self from today. And if you want to get new content sooner, subscribe to the channel, because there will be a lot of useful things I want to talk about. And for now, sayonara, brothers.